this weekend I'm going to AWP. If you don't know what that is, it's the largest writing conference in the world. And there's going to be panels and it's going to be fun. And it's like 10 o'clock at night. I have an 8:15 flight, so I'm gonna go to bed. But while I sleep, roll that intro. Airport, still dark outside. I'm very tired. Just gonna go back to sleep on the plane. Finally made it to the hotel and it feels like it's been forever, but it's only noon. I think I'm gonna take a nap. Then I'm gonna go find some food and I will read a little bit and get registered for AWP, but I am pooped right now and I can't. Here we go. There's a writer walking by, a bunch of weirdo writers, just like me. AWP 2024 Kansas City. Let's go. I don't know if this is just a me thing, but as I was driving down here in my rental car, I was like seeing people walk by. I was like, oh, they're here for AWP, they're here for AWP. It's like, maybe I've just spent too much time around other writers to be able to tell who they are, but it's pretty obvious all writers look the same. This is cool. Check this out. Nice little cathedral. Here for Amanda. Normally said I could come up here. I have a spinal injury, so not having to walk around too much. Oh my god!
Be an established author or be a first-time publication, right? And everybody sort of gets an equal chance, and that's the beauty of it. But yeah, and that's my little spiel. You know?
I've been to your website.
For me, I felt called to do this, and what I often tell people is that there is a question inside your body. It's not your mind, it's not in the story, it's inside your body that is begging to be answered. And
vision, there is that fruitful collaboration that is there. That's going to make a hard journey easier by partnering up together is what I'm looking for. And I feel like a lot of people stress about the queer letter. They stress about, oh, what about this? What about the one punctuation? What about that line? What about, and so many of those things actually don't matter at the end of the day if you've written something really good and you're showing up in the way that you need to show. And that's what I look for.
Hi, I'm Sarah Mullen. I'm the moderator for this panel. Welcome to this wonderful panel with these wonderful agents. We're going to talk a lot about the agent experience.
People only tell you positive things when you don't feel like you're learning or progressing. So I went into this not knowing how to write. I didn't have an MFA, and I was like, look, I know how to be a doctor, but I don't know anything about poetry or writing, so teach me. And so I had a very open attitude about wanting very much to learn.
So that is day one of AWP Kansas City complete. Had a great time, and I'm actually about to film a video talking about the stuff I learned. So excited for tomorrow. Before I head over to the convention center, I'm not really a fan of the way this shirt fits me right now because I'm losing weight. So I'm gonna run in and I'm gonna try to find a shirt. I'm gonna run into Rally House, see if they have one of those shirts that say I'm only here for Taylor or Taylor's boyfriend, because the Chiefs are playing in the Super Bowl tomorrow. I just had to come over here and be by myself for a second. Rally House did not have any Taylor stuff because it's not licensed by the NFL, but more importantly, I just walked into an all-gender bathroom without realizing what that meant, and it was incredibly jarring, and I think that single experience kind of gives me a lot more sympathy towards conservatives and what their fears are. Because right now I am incredibly shocked with the images I saw, and I was not prepared for. And if somebody right now told me that that was my fault for not knowing, I'd be incredibly upset. And had my students seen what I just saw, I'd be incredibly upset too. Now I know and I can teach them what it means, but I will always be an ally of trans people to be able to use the bathroom they want to use. I'm gonna take a moment to sort of regroup. That was traumatizing. Now there are a bunch of people over there protesting in favor of Palestine, and it's like, if I look over there, is it a political statement? If I don't look over there, is it a political statement? I think it's in very poor taste to do this here, because you gotta know there are Jews here, and of course there are Palestinians here too. Like, why do you have to make it a political statement? Like, let's just enjoy writing.
And emotional work in memoir. Sometimes that distinction is artificial because those things happen in tandem, and it's that in tandemness that is really exciting and unique in memoir, I think. But I think this idea of emotional work, of like teasing out of the fodder of your life what the meaning of the book is, it takes a long time. It can be very intractable. I was recently on a panel with a woman who wrote 3 memoirs in 5 years or something like that. That wasn't my journey, and for me, sometimes more than just like the butt in chair, you know, your butt in the chair of doing the work, it was also like stepping away and giving yourself distance and taking care of yourself while you saw the meaning come into existence for you. And sometimes it took life to provide more events for you to see what was very stark and activate the rest.
Here we have Libby Flores, is a 2008 Penn Center USA Emerging Voices Fellow. Her writing has appeared in One Story, Kenyon, American Short Fiction, Plowshares, McSweeney's, Tin House. She's the associate publisher at Baum. She holds an MFA from Bennington College. She's taught creative writing workshops from Sackett Writing Workshop, Tin House Online, One Story in Penn. She lives in Brooklyn, but will always be a Texan.
We have Anabel or Anabella, so I want to tell her I'm Mexican, so I have an accent, so I pronounce things differently. Anna Mustamen, she spent 18 years as a journalist and writer, a restaurant critic in South Florida, and her debut memoir, The Mango Tree, comes out in April 2nd from Little Brown. She wrote restaurant reviews under the freshman pen name for 15 years before revealing herself as a Filipina woman in 2021.
One tiny practical question, and then maybe a more emotionally charged question. The tiny practical question is, some people in this room, believe it or not, might have representation currently that they are not happy with, or that they are hearing from your panel are behaving unethically. I, in my life, have had to switch agents, and that was stressful. And I also didn't actually quite know ethically how one should handle switching agents. I didn't know, do I fire my agent? Is it okay to talk to other agents? And I've heard since that many agencies have policies about this, but I had never heard. So I was wondering if you could talk about switching and how that might work.
So the clip you're about to see, I posted as a short on YouTube. So for some reference, I was at the literary magazine panel, and we were talking about submissions, and a woman raised her hand saying, I have self-published in print a lot of my stories. Can I still submit them to a literary magazine? And this is the response.
My face is an I don't know.
Okay.
That's tough. Yeah,
I mean, you're going to have to mention it in the submission, so right, be transparent. Depends on what kind of self-publishing we're talking about. So this is online, or is this in print, or, you know, so yeah, it's tricky, right?
Are you wanting to publish the things you've self-published, or?
I mean, yeah, I was just really young and stupid and, very impatient. And so I was like, I just want them out there, and I know graphic design, and so I can put things together.
Are they just on a website that you own?
No, they're in print. Yeah.
Did you sell
I don't
this?
half-ass anything.
Did you sell it?
Yeah, some of them were sold for like maybe 5 to 10 copies for some of the early stuff.
The beautiful thing though is that you can keep writing more.
No. So there it was. You heard it from one of the editors at the New Yorker. That poor woman wasted her work by self-publishing. And I've only been saying this online since 2021, and I get railed against for it. So this is somebody who was brave enough to ask that question to a literary magazine editor, someone who's very established in the literary scene and in traditional publishing. So now I think we see how much it can screw up your career. And I applaud this woman for asking that question, for being self-aware about what she did, and stay away from self-publishing. Day 3. So I'm gonna do something a little bit different today. I'm not gonna head straight over to the convention center. There aren't any panels I'm really interested in until like the very last one at 3 o'clock, so we'll see how I feel then, if I feel like going over. I'm very sore, and Lunar New Year for females. So I don't feel like doing a lot of walking right now, so I'm actually gonna drive to a suburb to go to a special sandwich shop that they only have in Missouri. So I'm hungry. Let's go eat. Still no Taylor stuff, so I'm gonna go find a Walmart, and if there's no Taylor stuff there, I'm just gonna buy a long sleeve shirt, because I have my sweater, but I don't really want to wear it because I'm gonna have to take it on and off. I just want a shirt. So here we go. As you can see, I just got a basic Kansas City hoodie because I really needed something long sleeve, and not really a big fan of hoodies because of this. I don't like it. It feels like it's choking me. But it's like every size in there was a medium. That man in front of me has an Astros cap on. I hate the Astros. Anyway, like, does nobody wear a medium anymore? Like, I know America has an obesity problem, but like, what the heck? Why does nobody wear a medium? Okay, so I'm back at the book fair, and since it closes today, I think I'm actually gonna try to buy something. We'll see if I can find anything.
For sticking with us here at the very end of the busy AWP. We're honored that you're still upright and attending panels. I'll start by reading a few accessibility reminders. I'll go ahead and I'll talk a little bit. I represent a wonderful writer named Andrew Graff, who has told this story, so I feel okay about sharing it in public. But he had the experience of writing a first novel and having it roundly rejected by publishers. Which was demoralizing. I think I can say on his behalf. It was a very demoralizing experience. But there were sort of two things that came out of that process. One was it sort of lit a fire under him that I might describe. He is, I think, more genteel than this. I would describe this as sort of FU fire. A lot of people told him his first novel was too quiet. There wasn't enough going on. I think that's feedback that a lot of literary writers get. And he said, well, I'm going to write a novel that they absolutely cannot say is quiet. And so he wrote another novel, which is about two young boys rafting down a river towards a waterfall, and the pressure for the adults in their lives to get to them before they get to the waterfall, go over the waterfall, and are crushed to pieces. So he was like, okay, I took that feedback of my novel is too quiet, and I wrote a different book that no one is going to be able to say that about. The other thing I think that I really admire about this story is that he kept writing.
know, a lot of us come to these AWP panels, seeking practical advice and truth, and we will hope to, deliver that. But I think it's also important to acknowledge that one of the reasons that we tried to assemble a group of people with very different perspectives on publishing is because a lot of this depends on your experience. And a lot of it is subjective, and a lot of it doesn't have an answer. And so what we're primarily going to do today, I think, is we're going to share a lot of stories with you. And hopefully those stories will help you to sort of think through the questions that you may be considering about your work. And in order to get us started, I have asked everyone on the panel to think about a memorable no.
So that is it, guys. I'm back at my parents' house. AWP is over. And I learned so much at this conference, I would call it life-changing. So I will make another video just telling you everything I learned. And until then, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. And I'm happy the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. So there.